Over the past week, all 4 regions had something notable going on with roster transfers, all of which to some extent are teams either at the bottom or the top of their leagues looking to shift the balance of power. Wildcard's loss turns into Okami's gain as they look to propel themselves to the top of Oceania in APAC South. Chaos brings 2 of their old players back in the hopes of staying out of relegations in Europe. eUnited kicks Bagel after an apparent altercation at their team house in Vegas, and Team Liquid did something I really love by bringing in Mav as a coach. None of these are particularly earth-shattering, but it's usually the culmination of a lot of little things that makes the difference in Siege. I'm not saying putting 5 mags on the same team is a good idea, mostly because this clip exists.
Enetic, peeking, get off cam! Oh, it's me!
Maybe 5 Dokies would work a little bit better. I'm a slave to the short jokes, just don't question it. Let's begin in APAC. The Oceanic Nationals kick off in just over a week, and with the news that Ethan was leaving Wildcard last week, I don't know if they're going to be as dominant as they were in the 6 Masters after Fnatic was invited to APAC North. And we all know how well that's going right now. They're still to announce who their 5th player is, but Okami, who I've long considered to be the 2nd best team in the region, have now grabbed Speka, who you'll recall was Fnatic's 6th player during a stretch in 2019. It wasn't a bad run for the guy, though I'd argue that it really wasn't what Fnatic was looking for at the time that he was picked up, and that was later proven when he was dropped in November. But the point I'm making is that Okami is grabbing a known commodity with Speka. If Wildcard isn't able to get a 5th player that's able to help fill the void that Ethan is leaving, I think Okami just might be Oceania's new #1 team. And as I say that, their chances drop to 0. Plus, there's a lot of teams down there that have open spots that need filling, and with just 10 days until this tournament kicks off, I reckon Okami still sits high above the rest at this point. Moving to Europe, Chaos... I'm confused, but I'm also intrigued. Placing in dead last with no wins through stage 1 of the EUL, they needed drastic change, and they needed it fast, but it wasn't as drastic as I thought it might be. They dropped Shate and Red Groove for next one, and secretly, 2 guys that used to be on that team as recently as this year. Players like Nello or Hicks or even Spark, guys you'd have to buy out of their contracts to sign because they're benched on their current teams. It makes sense for why you'd go for players from Lowland Lions and Fierce who don't have nearly as crazy buyout restrictions. Also, rip Lowland Lions after Blaz retired. That team is screwed. Sorry, Sternab. Secretly has IGL experience, and next one is a really good fragger. Plus, it also reunites secretly with some of the old Chaos core, and next one with Cryan when they played on Diffuse Kids together. But until I see the results Chaos is hoping for, to me, this is a lateral move and not really a direct improvement. As I said, I think change needed to be a little bit more drastic with Chaos. I just feel like going back to the well of players that you've worked with previously isn't really going to be what carries you above your current standing in EU. You could have other teams fall in stage 2, but just from my position, this doesn't really convince me that Chaos has everything in the bag. You can talk to analysts, you can talk to their coaches, talk to whoever at Chaos. They might tell you that their scrim situation is looking up, but until I see results, this really does more to confuse me than it does to comfort me. Moving from EU to EU, Bagel got unceremoniously dumped from eUnited this week in a move that had all of Twitter riled up a little bit. It ends a stint with the team starting right after the 6th Invitational to now, and even though EU's official statement says nothing at all about what occurred, something happened. You can point to their last place performance in the NAL Stage 1 as a sign that change needed to happen, but they just replaced 2 players, and Bagel's release was immediate. So while you can look at this release from a performance perspective, I definitely don't think that this was a planned move from EU. Meepy's been promoted from their analyst to their head coach in the interim, which a lot of people see as an improvement because the dude is incredibly knowledgeable, but you need to have a full understanding of the way the team works and how they're making corrections for Stage 2 to understand if that's really the case here. I'm not going to break down Bagel's response to everything. End of the day, you ultimately make things worse for yourself by trying to defend yourself after a mistake. At least on Twitter. Especially on Siege Twitter. I've learned that the hard way. He's left 2 orgs in the past year in less than ideal manners, so I don't know if it'll be possible for him to find T1 work again for a while, but since EU's not telling us the details of his release, maybe it's better if we don't find out. And finally, the news of Saturday is that Mav has found a home after FaZe Clan in the welcome arms of Team Liquid. He's bolstering an already strong support staff with Silence and Sensi as coaches, as well as being their 6th player should they require a substitute. First of all, I love this, both because Mav was able to find a team after FaZe Clan, and this probably also means Liquid can start dominating LATAM again. The guy is technically skilled, super knowledgeable, and a freaking inspiration. You see how much weight that man's dropped in the past year? The dude's a freaking legend. I was this close to dropping money on a Liquid hoodie with his name on the back. That's how much respect I have for this guy. And I also like that Liquid could fit him in without making a change to their active roster. It just looks like they added a Mav buff to the whole squad, and that's going to make everything better. FaZe are currently the only team in BR6 that are still looking for a 5th player, and with Santos Esports making moves recently to fill their team with free agents, I don't really know how FaZe proceeds. Something in the back of my mind tells me Gohan, but I don't think that they'll go that far. All in all, it's been an active week, but we're in September with leagues beginning soon and still a lot of questions to answer. Disrupt and FaZe have announcements on the horizon, and I strongly suspect we're also not done in Europe quite yet either. Hit up my Twitter, my Twitch, and this YouTube channel for all the changes as they happen, and we'll know how crazy things get as we near the start of Stage 2. I'll see you later. Peace.